Hello and welcome to your Tuesday edition of The Nerve and our very first LA edition. I am your host, Maureen Callahan, and we've got a ton for you today. Listen, as you know, product of a difficult home, I pick up vibrations like I'm an empath, and trust me, I can feel the recidivists among us, okay? I can feel them lurking about. No one is getting away unnoticed, okay? Our first on the docket as your cultural criminal prosecutor, one Meghan Markle. We didn't even get to it last week. Her latest holiday drop, her flop, Confessions of a Female Founder, Confessions of a Female Flounder. We've got the new Netflix trailers. We've got her attempting to skip through a Christmas tree farm, looking like, she just inhabited a human body yesterday. We've got her Harper's Bazaar cover story. We've got housemen and footmen yelling her out as Duchess of Sussex with no one around. It's wild. Okay, it is wild. And in studio with us, breaking it all down, your favorite and mine for this kind of stuff, Kinsey Schofield, royal reporter, nonpareil, and host of the must-subscribe podcast, Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. Then we're going to get into our celebrity roundup. We've got some Troublemaker feedback, which is so great. You guys are reading my mind. Some of you are predicting what we're going to cover on The Nerve at Night tomorrow. And then I have been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this because I've always known how The Nerve was going to conclude the third and final part of the A-Rod attempt to rehabilitate himself and get into the Hall of Fame, known as the HBO docuseries. And trust me when I tell you, it's the last thing that A-Rod would either expect or want to see. And so we approach this with relish, verve, and excitement. We've got lots of great stuff. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural, home of the all-natural Optimum Day and Optimum Night supplements. Trying to lose weight can be tough. Oxford Natural can help. Optimum Day powers you with steady energy. It crushes cravings, and it keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, sleep deeply, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. England soccer legend Michael Owen lost 40 pounds, and Robbie, the face of AFTV, dropped over 100 pounds. It has worked for others too, with customer testimonials raving about Oxford Natural's effectiveness. Now it's your turn. Scan the QR code or click the link and grab 70% off your first order with code NERVE. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural. Let's get to work. Joining me now in studio for our first LA edition of The Nerve is Kinsey Schofield. If you have not yet subscribed to Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. Go over there. Get all of the exclusive royal scoop from America's foremost royal expert. Kinsey, welcome to The Nerve LA. We're in your stomping grounds.
Can I just brag for a second about my friend, Maureen Callahan?
No.
I saw her live. I told my mom it was like watching stand-up. You were live with Megyn Kelly in Anaheim. The reel that they put together of your greatest hits was hilarious. The audience, it was like laughing to the point where they couldn't breathe. And then you come up on stage and you delivered such an incredible performance live on stage too. You did not disappoint. There were people yelling, "Where is Maureen?" as Megyn Kelly was, getting along with the show. She's like, she's coming. So I was so proud of you. And I told you that night, I was like, I'm so proud of you. That was so cool.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being there. Bill from Brooklyn was also there.
Icon.
And I'll talk about it a little bit later in the show, but really the most amazing thing was getting to meet so many troublemakers who came out, and you guys are just as amazing, if not more so in person as you are, like, as we DM and email each other. So thank you for everything. And now, Kinsey, let's get to the really important stuff. More Meghan Markle.
Yes.
the blast radius continues to expand. Now, this all happened last week as Nerve Central was in transit to the West Coast. But we got some behind the scenes. Meghan's got a lot she's promoting right now. It's make or break with this Netflix holiday special.
It's a lot and not. It's Meghan Markle promoting Meghan Markle.
You're so right. So she was thoughtful enough to put on her Instagram behind the scenes video of her Harper's Bazaar shoot. And we have to take a look here together.
All right.
Well, we'll trauma bond over it lightly. So we're going to take a look at it right here.
Yeah. She is feeling herself.
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. I love how she's posing like she's like a 6 foot tall supermodel. Mm-hmm. She's like 5'4" on a good day. Let's get real.
Right. Well, you know what else is interesting? You were talking about how all of this stopped last week. Well, this was an important week for the Prince and Princess of Wales. With all of the chaos surrounding Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, mm-hmm. we needed a united front from William and Catherine. We saw them at Royal Albert
here
Hall.
She is, by the way, in her best Carolyn Bessette Kennedy cosplay. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just
and
lately.
And
Columbo. Oh, and I'm clapping for everybody. I just love other people. I love other people. Okay.
But classic that, when the Prince and Princess of Wales are having a big week that's important to the monarchy in general. Mm-hmm. Catherine doing her first speech since, telling us about her cancer. That's when Meghan Markle decides to drop not just a trailer, but the cover of a magazine. We should all stop and applaud Meghan Markle, despite the fact that Catherine's finally coming back to work after surviving cancer.
Well, yes. Amazing point. We're always timing things that just so happen to coincide with a major event for the royals, as her oaf of a husband last seen leering at Kris Jenner's rack at the 70th birthday party that Jeff Bezos, and we have to get into that, and Lauren Sanchez threw for Kris. He's trying to sort of work his way back in there for, I think, multiple reasons. And she continues to, I think, try to
sabotage.
I think she's a destroyer.
Yeah.
I think she's a destroyer. Yeah. Now, what do you make too? Last she was in New York, you were reporting on this, that she had been seen in the company of one Chloe Mal, who has taken over Vogue from Anna Wintour. Chloe is a mere puppet. If I were her, I would exit immediatamente. But the thought was that she was trying to work her way into a Vogue cover under an editrix from a younger generation. And clearly that did not come to fruition. Mm-hmm. We went over to Harper's Bazaar, which is like Vogue light.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we also believe that she's trying to make nice and make amends for bad behavior previously with Vogue. Remember, she pulled a write-up that they were going to do right before Queen Elizabeth's death. Meghan went to London to accept another trophy. I can't remember for what it was because they're all meaningless. Mm-hmm. But Meghan had gone to London with Prince Harry for an award show, and she was in that red. And remember, she stood up on the stage and she said she was so happy her husband was there to see her collecting this award, and he squirmed in his seat because he probably knew it wasn't earned. And they were supposed to be doing a write-up with Vogue, and Meghan was so frustrated that they wouldn't bump her friend Serena Williams off the cover that she no longer gave them access to that article. So that's where they say her relationship with In Full starts to disintegrate.
Whoa. So British Vogue, you mean?
Yes.
Right.
She wanted both covers. And that
simultaneous American and British.
And remember, she did a Zoom with Anna Wintour, who only did the Zoom with her because she's the Duchess of Sussex. Mm-hmm. And they said, we're not going to kick one of our or both of our cover girls off. We're going to give you a beautiful layout within, but that wasn't enough. And so her team pulled their access to her throughout that trip, which is almost a blessing in disguise, because wouldn't we have had an issue with Vogue had they done that and then the Queen passed away?
Of course. Of course.
So the understanding is that, and he was asked Edenful was asked not too long ago, because he just launched a new magazine. Is it called 40?
It's called
717, 417. There's a 7
a very
involved.
strange name.
It's a very expensive magazine each issue, but he was asked during the launch of his new magazine if he would work with Meghan Markle again, and he said, "I've already done that," as if just like, no, that's been there, done that. Don't think it's necessary to do it again.
And that is a rare thing in the fashion world or the entertainment industry in general. You never really want to fully burn a bridge. Today's enemy could be tomorrow's best friend or vice versa. And it seems that once people do have direct dealings with Meghan Markle, they would prefer not to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So, yes, Harper's Bazaar is where she ended up. Is she trying to court Vogue? Absolutely. But what's the objective? Why are you at Fashion Week? Why are you in Harper's Bazaar? Why are you talking to Vogue? You sell loose fruit spread for a living.
Well, isn't she? Oh, so we've got more merch allegedly coming for the holiday season, even though Netflix is not going to stock it in their soon to open brick and mortar pop-up in Dallas. Before we get into the best part of this Harper's Bazaar interview, which I'm going to have to quote from directly, let's take a look at this little montage that Nerve Central put together. It begins with Meghan's holiday trailer, and then we put together the only answer to the question she poses. Here we go.
I love the holiday season. It's about finding time to connect with the people we love.
Yeah.
Embracing traditions.
I like this.
There we go.
And making new ones.
We are now in
Making me
It's pretty jolly here.
Let's go craft.
Heyo.
I like that she's
It's
on
so
with that
pretty.
tennis player that has a meltdown all
easy
the
and
time and
elegant.
gets in
better
trouble
the
for
next day, and
unsportsmanlike
everything turns
conduct.
right.
It's so festive. Being a hostess or a host,
Naomi, whatever.
it's about making people feel comfortable.
And
So
loves it.
funny too that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Now doing something very similar on the other side of the path to where William and Kate, Prince William and Kate are, where they are greeting members of the public. They are taking bunches of flowers.
Also, thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay.
When do you feel the least Duchess of Sussex?
Oh my God. Sitting here eating a smash burger with you, being asked these questions. I curtsied as though I was like,
He hates his life.
pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
Sure.
Isn't she the absolute quintessence of holiday warmth, joy, celebration, making sure people feel welcome? Just a wonderful, warm, genuine person who it just epitomizes what the holiday season really means. Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
I get more warmth from Lorena Bobbitt than I get from Meghan Markle. Okay?
I mean, she's, it's amazing it's amazing to me that anybody would get into business with her. Now, there are early reviews of this holiday special, which we will be devoting a good chunk of the nerve to going through, breaking apart once it drops. The week after this one, the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the same week as Catherine's Christmas Carol concert.
Oh, right. Again, just a coincidence. Just, what can you do? These things happen. Okay. One critic did it mince words. Where are the Christmas colors? Where is the festiveness? Where's the merry and bright? This is bland, beige, boring, browns. There is not one thing that says holiday cheer in this clip. It's depressing, unseasoned, manila envelope drabness. That is hilarious.
I mean, that's accurate. I don't trust this woman when it comes to, this is a woman that starts scheming to leave the British royal family during the Christmas holiday season when everybody is supposed to unite and bond. She and Harry run off to Canada. And it hurt the Queen's feelings because she wanted to spend Christmas with Archie. They run off to Canada with the help of Catherine McPhee and her husband, David Foster.
Who Harry said was his new father figure, his surrogate father in America.
And they while they're there, when we're all cuddling up with our family members and enjoying hot chocolate and Hallmark movies, Meghan is building SussexRoyal.com. And Meghan is laying out the new rules she's about to present to the British royal family that they actually, in turn, reject. That she's only going to be working with grassroots media organizations, Harper's Bazaar, People Magazine, and Us Weekly, and all these other little rules that everybody's expected to abide by going forward. And really, betraying the British royal family, betraying that the trust that they've put into her. They allowed her to become a member of the British royal family, a divorced American actress. This would have never happened 50 years ago. I mean, Diana was confirmed that she had her virginity. And Meghan Markle is on at least wedding number 2 with Prince Harry. And so, I don't trust her when it comes to the holiday spirit. Obviously, it's not a sacred holiday for her if she'd use it to do so much destruction.
Yeah, and if she's got so many great friends, truly close friends, why are we not seeing repeat faces from
Is Daniel, we got Stedman. We're looking for proof of life on Stedman. Now we're going to have to check on Daniel, the makeup artist.
We were actually talking about this in Anaheim on Friday before I went on stage. We were talking about, where's Daniel, the makeup artist, and is he still with us?
We need proof of life.
We do need proof of life, because he should be, he was a guest in their house. She was saying she was making that whole overnight kit for him in the guest room, which I believe was above the garage in a borrowed house. Nonetheless, we've not seen Daniel. I feel like we would be seeing, just as you see recurring faces on The Nerve. Kinsey's a friend of mine in real life and a friend of the show. You see her often for a reason. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have that going on.
No, it's so strange. And a huge missed opportunity. Aside from Abigail Spencer, where is the cast of Suits that continues to say very nice things about her? And, in every interview where they're, I'm sure, miserably asked about Meghan, and I'm sure they're so sick of that question, they continue to say positive things about her, yet she doesn't include them in any of this. It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, they fucking hate her. They're just playing the game. They fucking hate her. All right, I have to read. So the first time I read this article, this cover story in Harper's Bazaar, we just saw the behind the scenes. We're just off the cuff back here.
We're so authentic.
I'm dying over this whole thing. Okay, so when I read this paragraph, I had to go back and read it twice. I columned on this over, by the way, at the Daily Mail Plus. And
you called her a jerk.
It's fun. I would have preferred stronger language, but it's a family paper. So she's just such an asshole, though. Okay, so I read this twice before I could commit to writing about it, because I thought at first I must have been really tired and reading it wrong, because it's so outer limits. Here we go. This is the journalist writing, female, who seems to be a fan of Meghan's, by the way, up until this point.
Right.
They meet so the first time they meet at the La Brea Tar Pits here in LA. And Meghan is going to meet a group of young girls, 11, 12-year-old girls, teenagers, who are there doing a school project. And she, the way it's described in the article is she's being slowly rolled in onto the site in a golf cart, and these kids may or may not know who's coming. And before she ever arrives, there's some functionary with a bullhorn who just out of nowhere goes, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Now, these girls are if you don't know what the La Brea Tar Pits are, this is a nationally registered site. It is dates back to the Paleolithic area. It's 20,000 years old. They're digging out woolly mammoths from there. Okay, but this trick is hey, I'm the attraction here, kids.
Classic.
Okay, so then after we're done with the poor kids at the tar pits, we're going over to the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel, where a waiter brings her an unsolicited cappuccino, and her face is in the fucking foam. Okay, and she looks down at the imprint of her face in the foam, and she goes, oh, I recognize this photo. This is taken from our trip to South Africa. The baristas at the Beverly Hills Hotel have various images of Meghan Markle back there going, which one should we do today in case the Duchess alights, on the patio? Get out.
And pauses the interview to take a photo of her own photo on the cappuccino. It's so good.
Again, if she wanted to get interesting, put that on your Instagram, sister. Okay, so then this interviewer goes and meets Meghan in New York City. Buckle up. I begin. We're in a grand brownstone on the Upper East Side that belongs to one of Meghan's friends. When I enter, the house manager announces, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, even though we appear to be the only other two people in the house. This to me is like beyond Norma Desmond. Like she's not even in this woman's sight line, and there's no one else in the house, and she's being announced as in the house, which presumably this journalist would expect because she's going there at an appointed time for an interview. Kinsey?
This is, this completely contradicts what she tells Oprah Winfrey in her 2021 interview, that the grandeur, the titles, they don't mean anything to her. She tells Oprah Winfrey that. That is a blatant lie. Are we at 18 now when it comes to lies? She told Oprah Winfrey during her sit down. This also, in my personal opinion, I think she's violating the Sandringham Summit. She is using this Duchess title to sell something, whether it's jam. I mean, honestly, I couldn't believe that they didn't mention the Netflix Christmas special in that piece. They really didn't get into her relationship with Netflix in that piece.
Do you think it's because she didn't know at the time if that was actually going to make it?
I think it's because she knows that there's no future with Netflix and she didn't want to dwell on it. But she seems to only be selling her jam in that piece. So I think that she is in clear violation of the Sandringham Summit, that they won't utilize their titles to monetize their lifestyle, utilize their proximity to the British royal family to pack their pockets. That's what she's doing. It says Duchess of Sussex on the copy of that cover, and the only thing she's selling truly is herself. And so if I were Prince William, I would file this away and say this is going to be one of the things that I show Prince Harry when he's crying to me, asking me why is he being stripped of his dukedom?
Well, Harry won't be crying to William because William won't take his calls, let alone let him across the threshold of any given residence. So Harry will be crying to the media, and the rest of us in America will be cheering. We will be celebrating in the streets. By the way, Tom Sykes in the Daily Beast wrote a column recently positing that the reason for this complete weirdness, she is the opposite of grace, okay? The opposite of elegance. This is like...
She did not look feminine in those pictures.
No, but not only that, to be announced in this way.
Yeah.
Diana would never.
No.
Diana would
She signed
never.
Diana. Catherine signs Catherine.
Tom's theory, and I think it's a good one, is that she is trying to sink the nomenclature, the titles, into the collective consciousness, so that even when William does strip those titles and she insists upon being introduced by all and sundry as the Duchess, it just becomes this reflexive thing that people will do because it's going to be more trouble than it's worth to push back.
Well, fun fact, there were people in Wallace and Edwards' circle that called her HRH, even though she was never HRH. There are people that pander to these weirdos. So
this is where we're headed with these two.
That's what I said when she said Meghan Sussex. When she said Meghan Sussex, I said the reason she's doing that is out of fear that they'll strip her of her title. And so she still can hold on. Somehow she's Meghan Sussex, so she could still be the Duchess of Sussex because she's Meghan Sussex. And then you see the weirdos on the internet that actually do like her, referring to her as Princess Meghan. She's not a princess.
She's not a princess.
Sorry, guys. No.
So what I see for Meghan's future, and I've recommended this on a former Nerve, and if you have not seen the documentary Grey Gardens, go see it. It's about Jackie O's aunt and cousin.
My dog is named Edie.
After the Edie Beals, Big Edie, Little Edie, and they were living in an alternate reality in which they were in high society and grandeur and furs, and in reality they were living in a dilapidated house in East Hampton where there were raccoons in the walls.
And so much cat poop.
Meghan Markle, that is your future. And she will be opening the door to the Amazon guy and the FedEx guy and saying, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, I will not sign for it if it is not addressed thusly.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I love that visual. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, Kinsey, for joining us on our inaugural LA edition of The Nerve. Coming up, we have Troublemaker feedback. Back in a minute. The holidays gives everyone a chance to go back to basics and eat real food together as a family. And we mean real food. Today's sponsor is Masa, and they're part of the real food movement, bringing back snacks made with ingredients our grandparents used to eat. Masa chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no chemicals, just incredible flavor. These tortilla chips will leave you feeling satisfied, light, and energetic with no crash, bloat, or gross, sluggish feeling afterwards. My favorite flavor of Masa is original. I'm an original. I like original stuff without a lot of bells and whistles, but I do also have to concede that the white, the blue, the lime, the habanero, the churro, they're all delicious. And if you love Masa, then you will love Vandy Crisps. Vandy, Masa's sister company, makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips out there. Looking for the best Black Friday deal? Masa always offers our audience a Black Friday level offer of 25% on their first purchase. Use code Maureen for 25% off your first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. And if you prefer shopping in person, Masa and Vandy are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. So stop by and pick up a couple of bags before they are gone. We are back. Now, before we get into your so phenomenally funny feedback, I just wanted to talk for a quick minute about the Meghan Kelly tour stop in Anaheim, where I was a guest. I'd never, ever done anything like that before. I've never spoken on stage in front of that many people. And I have to tell you guys, like, I was a little bit nervous, but once I got backstage, you know, Meghan does a meet and greet before the show. And, you know, I was going back there to take a photo with her and with Jillian Michaels, who was her other big guest on that event. And then the guys from the Fifth Column were there as well. I got online with Bill from Brooklyn, who was there, and my niece, who was so excited to meet Meghan. And as we started working our way to get on that line for my niece, and people started approaching, and they were troublemakers. And you got, like, every single person who approached me was so nice and so warm and lovely and cool and friendly, and just suddenly made me feel like it was all going to be okay. And by the way, I met more than one husband of a troublemaker who, as it turned out, was like a manly man, like good looking, strong, strapping guys, manly men who were like, yeah, I'm a troublemaker too. And I was like, this is just going to be fun. It is going to be fun. And it was the most fun. And I can only thank all of you who made it a point to come up to me and say hi and give me your encouragement and talk about the show. And, you know, or who DM'd me and emailed me and said they were looking forward to it. You really made it so easy. And then the cherry on top, of course, is always Meghan, who I told after the show, like, I wasn't really nervous because it was my first big event like that, but I was on stage with her, and I knew that if anything were to go awry, she was going to catch me. And it was just the best. It was just the best, loveliest, fun, most exciting, warm, great Friday night, you know, that I've had in a really long time. And those of you who were there or who were there in spirit, I think feel the same way too. So thank you. And now on to your feedback, which is savage as ever. Like, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming, shall we? Okay, this is a quick email about the Anaheim stop, and this is a good question because I've gotten this in a lot of emails and DMs. Maureen, I saw the group photo from the MK tour this weekend. Was it awkward to be photographed right next to Jillian Michaels? I remembered the episode where you covered The Biggest Loser. That was the mini, and honestly, it was not. First of all, as any regular audience member knows, Jillian was on the show about a week or so ago, and she was amazing. She's the only major voice pushing back on this Ozempic craze. And if you haven't seen that episode, I highly recommend that you do. Secondly, that was my first time meeting her in person on the tour. She was so lovely and cool and laid back and like zero ego. And, I followed her on stage, and she's done this stuff a million times, as discussed. This is my virgin voyage. And when she came off stage, she stood next to me while they played my intro, and she was so encouraging. She was just laughing and enjoying herself and like making me feel like, as a new person entering this, that it was going to be great. And you know what? When I came back off the stage, guess who was right there too? Jillian. So she's lovely. Okay. Honorary troublemaker. All right. Hi, Maureen, regarding Lena Dunham's series Too Much, which we covered on The Nerve when it debuted. Did you see this scoop? It seems a second season of Lena's show would have been too much. Crying face emojis. Once again, the troublemakers hit a nerve. I did see that, and I saw that Lena took to Instagram to say that she had decided artistically that the story was done with season 1, and isn't that awfully convenient? Very much like Sarah Jessica Parker, who we talked about with Meghan in Anaheim. It was her artistic decision. Sure it was. Who doesn't love fat checks from Netflix or HBO Max? Plus, just the ego fluffing of being in the cultural bloodstream. Okay. This is from a troublemaker. I will keep you anonymous, troublemaker. You've not said it's okay to use your name. How I read Meghan's Harper's Bazaar interview. Meghan's quote, R.E. Harry. I know he's always, you know what? This is actually a paraphrase, troublemaker, because it's so ridiculous. I can tell you I have it memorized verbatim. I know he's always going to be sure to have my back. Does anyone else read that as a thinly veiled threat? Yeah, you and me both, troublemaker. I thought the exact same thing. That he's always going to be sure is, to me, a none too subtly coded message to that dimwit Harry. You're going to do it. You're going to have my back, or else. This troublemaker continues like it's a passive-aggressive way of saying, I know too much, so don't screw me over. She does. She knows where his bodies are buried. It's in the same vein as Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction. I'm not going to be ignored, Dan. From a frequent flyer troublemaker, Mary Hanley, I recognize you. I love that Olivia Nuzzi was reading your book, Ask Not. This story is crazy. Nobody knows the situation better than you. Can't wait to hear you discuss it. Guess what? We're doing it on The Nerve at Night tomorrow. Over the weekend, I got injected into the story when Olivia's ex, Ryan Nuzzi, his second Substack column on this whole thing, his tell-all, he writes that Olivia was reading 2 books while she was having an affair with RFK Jr. One was Robert Greene's The Laws of Seduction. The other, he said, was my book, Ask Not, the Kennedys and the women they destroyed, to which I say, Olivia, it's not a how-to, okay? We'll get to it. Nerve at Night. See you there. Okay. A-Rod and J-Lo. Hi, Maureen. Thank you to you and Bill from Brooklyn for watching the HBO A-Rod documentary so I don't have to. That, my friend, is what we are here for. She wants us to revisit the photo taken of A-Rod and J-Lo at the Biden inauguration. Do you remember this narcissism in action? Yes, I do. And I remember Jennifer Lopez singing at that inauguration. And it felt like, okay, let's get a Latina singer up here to show that we are, the antithesis of what came before. And, so Jennifer Lopez sang her auto-tuned flat. It's flat culturally, it's flat lyrically, it's flat musically, and it's flat vocally. Vocally, it's always quite nasally up there. Let's Get Loud. Or she sang something else, but then she inserted Let's Get Loud because she thinks that's an anthem of sorts and a call to arms. She's out of her effing mind. She's right up there with one Meghan Markle. Okay, Alex Rodriguez. Hi, Maureen. This is Lynn from Reading, CA. Happy to be on your side of the country right now. Don't hold it against me that I am from California. Never. I love California. I'm so happy to be here. Okay. Hi, Maureen. I was curious in the last Alex Rodriguez segment why you didn't mention his relationship with Jennifer Lopez. Trust me, it's coming up in our next segment. We're going into A-Rod's third and final. And you guys, you're going to love it. Again, whether you're a sports fan or not, the A-Rod story transcends sports. It's culture, it's media, it's ego, it's narcissism. It's everything we love to get our hands in. It's going to be great, great stuff. Okay. Now, a few, these aren't even recidivists yet, but they are, Jenna Bush Hager. Okay. Host of the fourth hour of Today, which has become Jenna and Friends since her great pal Hoda skedaddled to spend time with her kids, which she did for about a month before she launched a book and her Joy 101 app, which is flailing. And again, I love to give credit to the troublemakers. Okay. So Jenna Bush, as I've said before, I believe the nerve exists in part to destroy American morning television. I think it turns out that Jenna's own father, former President of the United States, George W. Bush, might be a troublemaker. He might be a troublemaker. Listen to Jenna talking about her father's answer to whether he might someday come on her show. Here we go.
He says things like, I don't watch your dumb show. Oh, my God.
I don't watch your dumb show. That's brutal. That's brutal. And by the way, George W. has just risen in my estimation. He's totally right. Her show is unwatchable. It's so dumb. I try to keep my hand in because you never know what they're covering. But the level, what passes for conversation is so effing painful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now on to Walton Goggins. This is a recidivist. This guy's getting it at the Nerve Awards, okay? For narcissists, all attention is good attention. But he popped up in my algorithm yet again, GQ magazine. I'm going to warn you. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to warn you. You might want to cover your eyes. He posed in a chair, oiled up and naked for GQ. And he posed on a wrought iron chair. And he's got what I think is body makeup on those abs. This guy's 50. He's at least 50, 55. I hope they threw that chair away at the end of that photo shoot. First of all, nobody wants to see Walton Goggins posing naked. Sorry. Straight women, straight men, gay men, nobody wants to see this guy naked. Next story, final story. This is also a recidivist who's got it coming in multiple ways. There aren't that many weeks left in the year, but trust me when I tell you, the Nerve is going to maximize them. I saw this news story and I knew exactly who to blame. The headline: American Airlines passenger uses an electric tool to grind dead skin off her bare feet mid-flight. The copy: a passenger on an Airbus A319 has sparked a fresh round of, quote, what is wrong with people on planes, after giving herself a full-on DIY pedicure in economy. According to a fellow traveler, the woman took off her shoes, tucked her bare legs up sideways. I don't even know how you do that in economy. Pulled out an electric foot sander. TSA, where are you? How did she board with that? Spent around 30 minutes grinding dead skin off of her feet, sending visible, quote, foot dust into the air and onto the cabin floor. Where were the flight attendants? I am sorry. I blame one Tracee Ellis Ross for getting away with this shit in first class. This is disgusting. This is so hygienically disgusting. I weep. You know, the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, recently made a plea to the American public. Can you guys please stop wearing, can all of us rather, I remove myself from this because I would never. Can you guys please stop wearing pajamas to the airport and on airplanes? Can we please return to a time when Americans took pride in themselves and dressed properly for transportation? Is Sean a troublemaker? He might be. Okay, anyway, keep the feedback coming. You guys know where to go. In case you're new in these parts, you can email me at Maureen at devilmaycaremedia.com or DM me on Instagram at Maureen Callahan Writer or at The Nerve Show. And remember to subscribe to The Nerve's Substack. You can find it all over at thenerveshow.com. Coming up, the final part 3 of A-Rod's desperate attempts to get into the Hall of Fame. See you in a minute. Are you looking to support more made in the USA manufacturing this holiday season? Whether it's home decor, clothing, or unique gifts, it's become harder than ever to find high quality products that aren't made overseas. And that's where A Warehouse comes in. It's your one-stop shop for artisanal, one-of-a-kind gifts with products from over 100 different vendors. They are deeply committed to supporting American makers and manufacturers. Their easy to navigate online marketplace lets you browse a wide range of independent creators so you can feel good knowing that your purchase supports real people and ethical business practices. This holiday season, explore A Warehouse's gift guides and holiday collection featuring handmade ornaments, greeting cards, thoughtful gifts under $50, and more made in the USA favorites that make any gift truly meaningful. A Warehouse believes that a thoughtful gift isn't about fancy labels or big brand names. It's about the dedication, creativity, and care that goes into every product. So join the growing community of shoppers supporting over 100 vetted small business makers. Head over to awarehouseshop.com and use code THENERVE for 15% off your first order. That's awarehouseshop.com, code THENERVE. We are back. Now, the final third part of Alex Rodriguez HBO documentary, which was done with his cooperation and was only going to show not the warts, but possibly emerging pimples that you just take one of those stickers to and it goes away. Okay, so that aired. And so I've been waiting for this. Now, Bill from Brooklyn was going to be here, but he was in Anaheim over the weekend for the for my appearance on the MK tour. And he actually has a job to do. So, he couldn't make it. He sends his regrets and loved meeting the Troublemakers as well. Okay, so I'm going to do this solo, but you know what? I'm trained well and I'm very, very well versed in this stuff. So, okay, I'm going to give you a brief table setting. The A-Rod doc opens none too subtly, part 3, with A-Rod trudging through 3 feet of snow, like a lone heroic figure of the Ice Age, trying to forage some kind of food for his family. And the metaphor is none too subtle, okay?
There's an arrogance that often comes with power. The aura of power surrounding you makes you feel immune from consequences. You feel you can do things that mere mortals are forbidden to do. You see other wealthy people living a facade in public and a different life in private. The key to pulling this off comes from keeping your public and private life as separate as possible and creating an image that shields you from a closer scrutiny. Yeah, this is a a train wreck ready to happen. This whole idea that you're one person in front of the camera and you're a completely different person off camera, and that's exhausting because you're trying to keep up with the shit you're trying to get away with. Not fun. And full of anxiety and stress. And there's a sense I won't get caught because you actually think you are better than other people. There's nothing more stupid than that.
You learned that the hard way, though, didn't you?
I did learn that the hard way.
We get it. We get it. Then they cut to A-Rod, close up on A-Rod with his computer blue light right in front of him, reading from a book that seems to be titled, or the chapter at least seems to be titled, Why Rich and Powerful People Cheat. And, you know, he reads in a very stilted manner. Would we expect anything less? A couple of paragraphs from this. And the summation is because they can. Now, I'm going to use this opportunity. A-Rod is telling us he's a different beast now. You know, he's a narcissist in recovery, and I'll get to that too. But you know, he was a liar and a cheater about everything in life, whether that ranged from his cheating on his wife with multiple women and using his wife's brother to set one mistress in Florida up in a condo that he bought for her, a stripper mistress, by the way, who he planted in his box at Yankee Stadium right in front of his wife so he could get his rocks off on humiliating her in yet another way that she had no clue about. And by the way, his small daughter was with his wife at that time. The guy is a piece of shit, okay? And then he has cheated. He cheated on Cameron Diaz. He cheated on Jennifer Lopez. Now, this is what we're going to get to. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning. An American hero known as Craig Conover, who stars on the reality show Southern Charm. And if you haven't watched Southern Charm, you are really missing out. You know, Mike White used many of the cast members of this reality show as inspiration for the rich family in White Lotus season 3. Anyway, Craig showed up to this reunion in January 2021. Off his face. I mean, as the reunion progressed, you could see the effects of whatever substances he was on. But this guy came out swinging. He was like, I got nothing to lose. I'm sick of this shit. My co-star over here, Madison LaCroix, who's I think is going to come after me. You know what? I'm just going to drop the nuclear bomb now. She's my Hiroshima, okay? Watch this.
You were flying around the country sleeping with married men, ex-MLB players. That's what you were doing during quarantine.
Tell me,
you know why Austin was in my house? Because you weren't talking to him. You flew to Miami to an ex-MLB player. Major League Baseball. That's what you were doing during quarantine.
Guess what?
That's exactly what you were doing.
Put me on a lie detector test. I never flew to Miami. Tell me when I went to Miami. Where's the record of that? No,
I know exactly what you did. That's what you were doing. Why do you know that? She told me. She has been bragging. I saw the Instagram messages. Austin, who was it, Austin? It was while you were dating Austin. By the way, I should say, is a very famous married ex-MLB player. You f***ing record? Sorry. Greg, chill out. Greg, calm down. Wait. She's trash. Being on the same stage as her. Okay, just calm down, dude. This ex-MLB player, is this someone that you have DM'd with?
He contacted me, and yes, we DM'd. But other than that, there was nothing. I've never physically seen him.
You guys FaceTime all the time, Madison. Stop. Yeah, you're a f***ing liar. You FaceTime all the
I am not a f***ing liar, and I will stand up for that. I'm sorry. I'm not lying. I will tell you.
You are a liar.
Shut your mouth.
You did it next to me at tavern table. Okay, you FaceTimed him.
Relax.
We're like 20 minutes in. She's bragging about it. That's it.
Well,
it's her whole life.
Better than you.
Okay.
I don't think jerking off on FaceTime is cheating. Anyway.
Okay, that is a cast member who is no longer with us. Just in reality TV, he's still alive. His name is John Pringle, and this is such fascinating stuff because it's a tether. It's an actual thread into the Olivia Newsy RFK Jr. scandal, which we're getting to tomorrow on The Nerve at Night. like, first of all, is like just FaceTime sex cheating, is DMing cheating. You know, she was originally like, I don't even know who you're talking about. And then when they bleeped out his name, the cast member was off camera. He said, you're doing it with bleep. It was such a short bleep. Everyone in America knew the bleep was A-Rod, and everyone in America knew it was A-Rod because the guy's got a type, and it's petite women who have muscly figures, okay? So that, at 2 weeks after that episode aired, Jennifer Lopez dumped Alex Rodriguez, okay? Now, if you'll notice, what's telling in this documentary, in this rehab attempt for A-Rod, is who's not in the doc, okay? J-Lo's not in the doc. Madonna's not in the doc. He dated a very powerful woman in Silicon Valley for quite some time. She gave him a lot of legitimacy. She's not in the doc. Cameron Diaz, who he dated for 18 months and who broke up with him in 2011, not in the doc. Now, A-Rod, the only thing he really has to say about Cameron in the headline that's going around is that while he was dating her and what led to their breakup was, quote, there was a lot going on at the time. Was there? You bet. You know what was going on? He was cheating with at least one woman named Lauren Hunter, a quote unquote model who also looks like a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying anything, but you know what I'm saying. From this Yahoo headline dated June 14th, 2017, did A-Rod cheat on Cameron too? I'm going to read a bit from the piece. Cameron, 44, dated the former New York Yankees player for 18 months. And Lauren Hunt, model in question, I'm using quotes around model, tells the publication that their affair took place at the same time. Quote, I cannot tell you how many times we slept together while they were together, she spills. Quote, I slept with him and then he went to the MTV Awards with her, Lauren added. Quote, she looked really sad. I could see it was the end. Then Alex, again, we're rehabbing ourselves. So we're talking about all the therapy that we did. And he was treated by a guy who went by Dr. David. Now, Dr. David had a house like way out in the middle of nowhere. It was by design. He treated high profile cases like A-Rod. And the deal was you had to go to him. Smart. You know, how serious are you? Now, Dr. David had an outbuilding that he used at his office, and his patients were never allowed in his house proper. That was his sacred space. Well, guess what A-Rod does in this documentary? Because Dr. David has since passed. He goes into Dr. David's house. And he's walking around, ambling around Dr. David's house, in which he's never before been, with a camera crew. And he's going through David's stuff. And, you know, it's just such a violation. Okay. The guy is never going to change. We're in Dr. David's house. So A-Rod can look like a mournful surrogate son who, you know, would have been dead on the side of a road if not for Dr. David. Give me a fucking break. Okay. Now we're going to watch A-Rod read a letter. This is the homework he says Dr. David gave him. Okay. So A-Rod's through line here is that, yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit in recovery. And he's a piece of shit because his father left the family when A-Rod, you know, it's unclear because he says to us, listen closely. He says to us, he's writing this letter as himself at 8 years old. Okay. As his authorship, as he's regressing as his childhood self, his inner child, in this exercise given to him by Dr. David, he's writing a letter to his father. He's age 8. But in the letter, he says, you left and I was only 10. So how could an 8-year-old be talking about an event in the future with an age certain, but that event has yet to transpire? Could A-Rod be telling another fucking lie? I don't know. Let's listen to A-Rod.
I say, Victor, not Dad, Victor, stop. You're bullshitting me. You're full of shit.
You've done it for 43 years. Enough is enough. You've lied to me from day one. That's why I'm so full of shit myself. I grew up around it. I thought I can get away with everything like you. Bullshit myself through life. My dad says, what are you talking about? How about 2014, my full-year suspension for using PEDs? Then acting like a fucking asshole, doubling down, blaming everyone. Sounds familiar yet?
Okay. I'm going to tell you something. This whole thing is he's telling on himself. This whole documentary is yet another exercise in Alex Rodriguez lying, doubling down, and acting like an asshole. And, you know, a lot of people grew up in a lot worse circumstances, and they don't grow up to become total entitled pieces of shit who have not heard the word no ever, because he was a phenom from a young age. He was a teenager, and no one was going to tell this guy jack fucking shit. His daughters are in here saying he's evolved. I think that's a very generous language. Alex says he's a recovering narcissist. His words, not mine. A quote, recovering narcissist. Anyone in psychiatry, psychology will tell you there is no such thing. You cannot heal a narcissist. The only thing that therapy does is make them better, because it gives them more tools and tricks and language to use to better affix their mask. And this is exactly what's going on in this documentary. And I don't think that there's any chance he's getting into the Hall of Fame. As Bill from Brooklyn said before, he predicted this. He predicted this story arc, that part 3 was going to be feel sorry for me. I'm sorry. I was an asshole. I'm better. I'm trying to be better. My numbers are better than anybody. Put me in the Hall of Fame. And the only reason this guy isn't in the Hall of Fame is because he's a fucking asshole and nobody could stand him. Now, in conclusion, as your cultural criminal prosecutor, I'm going to show you what I think is one of the best ads, if not the best ad, of modern American popular culture, okay? This ad, again, it transcends sports. When Derek Jeter was leaving the Yankees, A-Rod's one-way rival, okay? Derek Jeter was beloved by the city of New York. You didn't have to be a baseball fan to love this guy, because he comported himself with character, with dignity, with humility, with a sense of proportion. And he showed up every day on that field and played his effing heart out. And behind the scenes, he was the captain of the team who kept everything neat and orderly and strong and forceful. And that team, they were winners, okay? They comported themselves like winners. This ad, no matter how many times I see this ad, it makes me choke up. I'm not kidding. Like, I get really emotional. If you can tell a story in 60 seconds or less, and it's so clear, and I'm going to tell you guys, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to explain what's going on in the actual video, because I don't want to mar it in any way. Go to this part of the episode on YouTube. Do yourself a favor and watch it. And watch, by the way, who is in this ad saying goodbye to Derek Jeter. And we'll talk about the rest on the back end. Here we go.
Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2.
So that ad is called Respect. And in that ad, the through line is it begins with the tip of a hat. Jeter's adjusting his helmet at home plate. And his pitcher, the opposing pitcher, Boston Red Sox, the face is covered by a mitt. The whole thing is very telling. He tips his hat very subtly. Jeter looks over. One of his own teammates tips his hat, sees way up in the stands. One of the concession guys tips his hat. That tells you everyone in New York, no matter their station, no matter their socioeconomic class, in the stands. Spike Lee, Rudy Giuliani, when he was still a respected figure in these parts. And then you see the titans of sport. Tiger Woods, you see doormen, you see line cooks, you see Billy Crystal, you see Jay-Z, you see Jeter's own family, you see first responders, you see Joe Torre, the former head coach, and the core four at a table as if they're waiting for Jeter. And the final thing that you see, the final person, is a little boy in his bedroom in what looks like, working class and like a maybe even the projects. You can see the subway going by outside, and he's watching the game on TV, and he's got his baseball memorabilia there, and he's tipping his hat at the TV screen, and he's maybe the next kid who's going to come up in a Jeter-like way. That is a Hall of Famer. That's how it's done. Class of 2020. And by the way, you want to know who's not in that ad? Number one Sean Diddy Combs, who was effing dying that he wasn't included. And two, one Alex Rodriguez. And that tells you all you need to know. No Hall of Fame for you, A-Rod. Shove it. That's it. That does it for our Tuesday edition of The Nerve. Please come back and see us tomorrow here in Los Angeles for our very first edition of The Nerve at Night, West Coast edition. If you haven't already, check out our Substack at thenerveshow.com. Be sure to subscribe. There's lots of good stuff that we couldn't get into the show, extras, bonus materials, plus Nerve merch. The holidays are quickly approaching. Grab something for yourself or pick something up for a fellow troublemaker at shopthenerve.com. Also, The Nerve is now available on Meghan's podcast playlist every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Sirius XM channel 111, the Meghan Kelly channel. And we will see you back here tomorrow at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next.